Infamous, legendary, brutal, barbaric. Words that almost take your breath away and strike fear when heard for the first time. Descriptions of a group of lions that carved their name in blood over many long years, when they chose to rule and dominate the vast lands of the Sabi Sand Reserve, spreading terror through its plains and mountains. These lions were called the Mapogo. Their story was not just another coalition of lions that lived, expanded, and mated within their ruled lands like others, but rather the continuation of a legendary horror. Had fate allowed it to last longer, it would have wiped out every rival predator trying to survive from hunger or death. With a death toll exceeding 100 lions, this coalition demonstrated its brutality and violence, shocking followers and filmmakers alike who documented many films showing the horrifying cruelty of the Mapogo. They displayed levels of savagery and violence never before seen among lions. Their ferocity even drove them to attack humans, their livestock, and anything else that caught their eye, satisfying their appetite for flesh and their endless thirst for blood. It is claimed this coalition was named after a South African security company known for its extremely harsh and frightening methods of dealing with criminals. Like most cubs born into a large pride, destined to eventually be expelled, 5 young males were driven out to find their own path and to eliminate potential rivals who might one day dare to overthrow their fathers and take control. This coalition was thus formed from those 5 expelled cubs who met a slightly older lion named Makulu on their way out. He was suspected to have come from the same Sparta pride they were born into, making him their elder brother and leader in their journey into the unknown. Makulu, born in 1998, was named in the local Zulu language for big or impressive. The pride itself was named after the Sparta farm, part of their territory, also known as Londolozi, bordering Mala Mala. The second brother was Pretty Boy, named for his strategic battle tactics that allowed him to stay unscarred and maintain his striking looks during fights. The third was Mr. T, known as the Devil, with his enormous mane and terrifying destructive power. The name came not by chance, but because of the years he spent killing, displacing, and destroying, even cubs born of his own brothers. He knew no mercy, and trouble followed wherever he went. The fourth, Scar, was marked by a distinctive scar on his face, along with others on his hip and spine, testament to his constant involvement in battles that never ceased. Rasta was the fifth, known for his immense strength and fierce defense of the coalition. Then there was Kinky Tail, named for his bent tail scar, who was the ever-loyal shadow and protector of his brother Mr. T. The 5 cubs were born between 2001 and 2002. Rasta, Scar, and Pretty Boy were the older ones, with Mr. T and Kinky Tail born later. The latter 2 would remain inseparable until the end. After enduring severe hardship and hunger in the early days of exile, the cubs and their elder brother survived through failed hunts and stealing from other predators. Slowly, they grew strong enough to hunt on their own, mastering ambushes, chases, and takedowns. As their hunting skills improved, they began taking down increasingly larger prey. They killed hippos, rhinos, giraffes, and more, but their specialty was hunting buffalo. Thanks to their massive size and raw strength, Mapogo lions became feared masters of buffalo hunts. By 2004, the coalition moved west and made its first attempt at seizing territory in the Sabi Sand area. Such large coalitions were unusual, and none of this scale had been seen in Kruger National Park, and especially Sabi Sand, in decades. Abundant prey made the region ideal for apex predators, setting the stage for their rise. After securing lands in the south, in 2006, they heard the roars of challengers. 4 young lions of the Tsalala coalition, who boldly marked the territory as theirs. The Mapogo wasted no time. They isolated one Tsalala male and killed him, forcing the others to flee as far as they could to save their lives. This marked the beginning of the reign of terror of the Mapogo. They spread, expanded, and dominated nearby areas, mating with lionesses from different prides and killing any males they encountered or were unlucky enough to cross into their realm. In February 2007, they brutally killed a lion known as Rocky, or the Serengeti male, and began feeding on him. By June 2007, tensions rose between Mr. T and Makulu over dominance. During this split, the five brothers killed Makulu's cubs, born of different genes. Mr. T and Kinky Tail then broke away, establishing their own territory. In December of the same year, Makulu and the remaining coalition clashed with two Kahuma males. Later, one was found badly wounded and unable to move, less than 200 meters from the Mapogo, who had seized lionesses of the Styx pride once ruled by Kahuma males. By the next day, his body was found, beaten to death. Over time, all coalitions weaken as they age, leaving them vulnerable to younger, vengeful lions seeking to prove dominance or avenge slain kin. This decline was inevitable for the Mapogo, especially after the split of Mr. T and Kinky Tail, who established dominance in Londolozi with brutal patrols. By 2010, the Majingalane coalition of 5 strong young males entered Mr. T and Kinky Tail's territory. By then, only Pretty Boy, aged 12, and Makulu, aged 15, remained. They withdrew eastward, far from the rising power of the Majingalane. By October 2012, the last two were spotted in Kruger National Park at Paul Kruger Gate, feeding on a buffalo. Makulu, the last survivor, was seen alone in January 2013 at Malamala at the age of 16. He never appeared again. The Mapogo coalition had killed hundreds of predators and prey, including cubs and defending lionesses. This savagery was one of the reasons their reign eventually ended, allowing other coalitions to survive and expand. It is believed the Mapogo sired cubs in the Sand River Pride, the Ottawa Pride, and the Salala Pride, and likely many others. Their reputation for cannibalism was one of their most violent traits, in contrast to other lions who were known to coexist peacefully with humans and visitors. The Mapogo inspired mixed feelings among those who followed their story. They were seen as merciless and savage, yet their dominance brought stability and safety for their cubs and order to the region during their reign. For years, their impact on the Sabi Sand ecosystem was immense, having culled such a large number of lions. Elephant Plains reported that nearly 40% of the lion population was killed by the Mapogo alone. Willem Botha, head of anti-poaching at the time, confirmed they killed between 90 and 110 lions. He himself was forced to put down 15 lions left paralyzed by the Mapogo's brutality. Ultimately, the Mapogo coalition was immortalized in the famous wildlife documentary Brothers in Blood, Lions of Sabi Sand, a notorious band of brothers who waged a savage campaign to dominate and rule Sabi Sand within Kruger National Park. In a place full of apex predators, few reach such legendary status. But the Mapogo story left its mark, an eternal icon in history of lions born to rule and conquer, embodying the raw power of Africa's most feared coalition.